We are off. What's going on? SpeedGaming. Welcome back to another Slap Rando tournament match. I call it Slap Rando because all of these races have slapped. They've all went pretty hard. We have Osu on the tracker. Thank you, Osu. Big fan of the game, the name, and what you do. So shout out to Osu, a very unsung hero that I'm gonna be doing a lot of singing about. And on today's matchup, we have on the left, we have phatscott25, well-known speedrunner within the community of Super Metroid, and has, dabbled in some map rando. And then on the right, we have Kiara, first time Super Metroid tournament anything, actually. So shout outs to Eddie for getting Kiara to hop on in and join us in the festivities. And yeah, I guess our runners are ready to go. And our it's a new category, new mode for Map Rando. If you're not familiar, we're off of the pretty much the map hunts. This time we have objectives. It's no longer just bosses. This one in particular does require the runners to go pretty much Metroid Prime Hunters mode on this, which kind of makes sense, honestly. It's more of a Metroid 2 inspired playthrough where you don't really fight the bosses. You just go and do your best to hunt down the Metroids, and that's the objective. That's how you gain access into Mother Brain, the Mother Brain final boss fight, because there are a total of 4 Metroid rooms. You got to get through all of them. It's kind of nice, I would say. It does tend to trip people up a bit, just because what's thrown into the mix is having to recognize what is not actually, no, I would rather say what is a boss door, because in vanilla, the boss rooms I should say, not doors. The boss rooms are marked with that X that we've all come to know and love in map randos. No, and they're not going for the heated rooms. So sometimes Ridley is the one that comes to mind, where you might overlook and you think you see a clear path to your destination, and then you end up kind of locked at Ridley, and it's because he has the smallest room and it's only 2 blocks of map. Is that what they call them? Is that the measurement units for map blocks? I don't know. And then you have to go skirt all the way around Ridley instead to reach whatever you're trying to reach. So it's pretty. Oh, look, here's already a Metroid room. Pretty early into the game. The cool thing also is, and this is what phatscott's using, is that you can kill the Metroids with power bombs. It takes 3 power bombs to kill them all. And if you manipulate the room correctly, by way of the hot Cheerios that spawn in the room to hit you, you can hit all Metroids in the room. It's a little bit of an advanced map rando tech. Helps out a lot. Oh, Ice Beam! Yo, this might, and they both found it at the same time, just about. So I think Kiara might be able. Okay, so Kiara's gonna be able to clear out that room faster. But phatscott's just about done with this area. He's gonna try to keep on keeping on. The only door left from here is the one at the very bottom. No, he's gonna go with the heck run, actually. Or is he farming? Oh, okay, this was a room to farm power bombs, yeah. So he's gonna exit down the bottom. Oh, be careful. Okay, good farm. Okay, or he's farming. He's making an honest living off of farming. Yeah, so quick here. It's gonna want... Gonna save, actually. This is all... Oh my god, this all makes sense, honestly. This... You don't want to lose all your progress. Actually... Okay, so the bottom, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to like piece everything together. I think the game might force you to go past the heck run? Because you can't survive that. Or is this the only door that's not been checked? Okay. For missiles. Let's see if Kiara is the one that's farming to make it past this. Yeah. So here we go. Really good play here. It's pretty much the only one that you can make. It does seem pretty scary. Okay, there it is. Okay, but I'm still I think this is the play, honestly. I think that just makes sense to me. Unequipping ice, because ice is just an extra chore. Ooh, yay, survived that hit. Usually it's kind of scary. And the way that they spawn in, it doesn't really help. Alright, so phatscott's gonna be picking up speed now. Now, phatscott is a licensed, well-known GT Classic runner. So he does have a little bit more experience on the glitch here, but yeah, I was thinking to myself, I was like, there's no super, so there's no way you could actually exit out. It's gonna come down to this glitch, this gate glitch over here. There it is. On the first try, the first try, it all worked out. Oh, okay, that's quite a... That start is kind of mean, I will be honest. Don't get used to that. Don't get used to that. I promise that they're a little bit more family friendly. Just like all the commentary that we've had so far in this SpeedGaming channel. These are not meant to put you through heck. Okay, so with that, with Speed Booster, they have access to the Aqueduct items, which is where they want to head to. That's what puts them in logic. A really cool thing about these slap randos is that the items that you pick up are forward fill logic. Kiara's going to Metroid. Forward fill. So the moment that you get any major item, your best bet to make progress in said randomizer seed. Let's see what this item is. What is roll to the left? There we go. Okay, cool. High jump. It could be forcing more suitless rooms. But since these items are forward fill, any time that you see a major item, there's supers, or even your first super pack, for example, you kind of want to follow any room where you might have to use said item. So right now, there's 2 rooms. Phatscott, oh my gosh, dodged it. So I think right now phatscott wants to use those supers to get high jump. And phatscott did get grapple, which is cool, meaning it's most likely that the game is gonna want him to spark up here, go down to the middle door, so he can use those supers. Again, forward fill. He's going to use his first logical supers to gain access to high jump. Gosh, I sound very nerdy. I normally don't sound like this. If anything, I sound more like the Jonkler. If anyone's familiar, I can't believe I'm actually saying all these words out loud. And also, really good use of the high jump boots. Mission Impossible escape there. That was awesome. On the fly, rando tech. So with that, phatscott's gonna go ahead and try to spark out once more. Actually, with high jump, it's also possible that the next logical choice sequence of room to go to is the baby dragon shrimp room, where they got kind of stuck. I can't remember if that's the room that you can do reverse with high jump and ice. It doesn't necessarily mean that's the only way of progressing, but that given the items, given the fact that you have high jump now and ice, that's one thing to think about. As we know, though, Spacer is useless. I don't think Spacer really does anything. I might be lying, though. I might be lying mainly because I'm misremembering and spreading the falsities of the anti-Spacer truth. But I could have sworn that there's some items. Oh, there's another Metroid room. So that's the second one down. Just 2 left after this. Great job. Great spark right there. Awesome. Guys gonna head towards the middle. Ooh, with ice. This is also in logic for phatscott to do. Now, I think phatscott's just trying to avoid having to do the frog. Oh, yep. Which makes sense, because it is kind of tricky. However, it is in logic. Like, you can be forced. Oh, Kiara's dancing around. Seeing the fill. 2 down. Let's see where this takes him. Ooh, yeah, this is a no-go. This is a no-go zone. Anyway, back to Spacer, even though I didn't want to. With Spacer, I think there's some rooms where you do have to use Spacer. Like, I think it opens up some rooms, some blocks, some are like Spacer accessible with Spacer like qualities. I can't say for sure. I already forgot. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. They're all there. There's a third one right there to the left. They're all right there. Right? I forget how much. Okay, I mean, still mother brain to go for, but not too bad. This isn't too bad at all. Yeah, so there's mother brain. That's what I was thinking. I can't remember which one's the lengthy, long Metroid room. But wait, I'm confused because phatscott already had the other one. So yeah, everything. To me, it looks like everything's like incredibly close. It seems doable. Kiara might have recognized that that's mother brain, or just wanted the item, which is good still. I'm telling you, that's the part where I would like get tripped up. Nice wall jump there by phatscott. Okay, yeah, so that's the one that lengthy horizontal room is the one that phatscott already did. Mother Brain's right there. There's another Metroid room to the top right, but decisions, because Criteria is to the left, and I think it kind of makes sense to try to go to Criteria just so that you can get ship info. But you never know, like you can maybe pick up more value items in other areas that would give you a little bit more quality of life. So as that you don't get forced to, I don't know, like you don't get forced to traverse through a suitless meridian, right? You might find gravity somewhere. But all the same, like gravity could be in Criteria and then you could get hacked and then you're like, yeah. I also have been a fan of some of these. Oh, we got speed. Oh, but nice job using the manipulating the speed run and jump. But that's kind of troubling because if that happened, that is to say though that Kiara still hasn't picked up high jump boots, because phatscott does have high jump and Kiara doesn't. Oh, but she's gonna get it right now. This is actually like really good I guess routing for Kiara, because this is gonna pay off. This is gonna work out. Ooh, careful. Nice. phatscott with bombs. And then here comes high jump. So both runners now have high jump. Gotta be careful here. This might... Oh, this is Croc Speedway. So yeah, phatscott should be fine in getting out of here. I was kind of scared that you wouldn't be able to get back. Okay, so how far is this? This is close enough. This is not bad of a choice or a pick. And a convenient save? Oh, this goes so hard. Are you kidding me? This goes so good! Because you could just bum rush it and hopefully not, Oh, that one's kind of tough to find. Ow. Ooh. What's it called? Mount Everest? Oh, that's not bad either. You could just save. There's the other one. Okay. So there's the other one. We have visuals on every single Metroid room location. So phatscott can clear the game. phatscott is in no mode right now because phatscott knows the only thing that he isn't in is go mode, because he doesn't have... I'm pretty sure you killed Mother Brain in this category. I can't remember. I could just be fibbing. Okay. I'm like thinking, what does phatscott want? Because there's items, there's things. If phatscott goes up, it's probably because you don't need to kill Mother Brain. And I'm just oh yeah, no Mother. It literally says right there. Okay, hey yo, my bad. I was just I was just... So wait, no Mother Brain has always been an option? Wait, I'm confused. So I could have sworn I seen Metroid's objectives, but Mother Brain, I don't know. It goes to show how much I've been paying attention. Okay, so yeah, that's okay. Chilling. What are we doing? Wait, no Mother Brain 2 though. So is there's a 1? It's the one that we saw. So okay. Hold. Hold. phatscott does not want to get into trouble here. Alright. We're chilling. We're chilling. See, this is part of the reason why I force myself to do comms. Because you kind of learn as you go. Like, oh, everything starts to make sense. There's a major item to the right, and everything else is a dead end. There's no other area that he can poop himself out of, so phatscott might want to pick up that major item. Might be worth. It's a straight shot, and then he could dip out. So here's the other Metroid room. Oh, careful, careful, careful. You're backed up, right? There it is. Good job, phatscott. Another Metroid room down. They're playing this really well, honestly. And there's Varia carry. The Varia carry. Because Varia carries so hard. That's why I call it the Varia carry. It's such a good item. It makes all of them run. So now that I think Kiara's actually prioritizing that ship location. The scary part about it, however, is yeah. Oh, it's close too. So these can be pretty quick, I guess. Nice and safe, nice and safe. Good jumps. Feeds that fish. phatscott is out of there. Oh, this is definitely they're playing so well. This is definitely like a 2-hour seed for me. I am not. Oh no, the bait. That was huge baities. It's fine. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. I'm so confused. Kiara was just kind of hoping to perhaps bump into the landing site, and that'd be nice. But the room to the left here at Mount Everest is the other room that's pretty likely to connect over to the map room. Just gotta keep on heading up. Hopefully there's something that kind of loops back around. Oh, hey, this isn't too bad. So yeah, gonna head back up. It's this door to the left is most likely also gonna poop out. Over here in the ocean. Oh right, it just hit me. It just hit me what they need. They need the ammo. They need ammoed. So we have no mode. We're just not go mode because they don't have ammoed for Mother Brain 1. Okay, see, I'm learning. Oh my god, it's clicking. I actually have a little mouse at the wheel. Okay, so room below is gonna be the map itself. Okay, so this is all pretty extensive. It's another thing there. The two majors to that side are kind of they make me want to throw up in my mouth. Torian is up there. It's not far, which is also nice. We know that that's not where Kiara wants to be, but it will be incredibly misleading. So don't want to do all that. We'll see if go down instead. It is Ridley. That's what I'm talking about. You're trying to, you know, make an educated guess and trying to plan a route. And next thing you know, you run into Ridley, and it just, since you don't have enough to kill, you never know where you end up. Supers down here. Hold. Oh, 15. Okay. And it's also incredible just because supers are like the new cryptocurrency. I'm just gonna say that right now. Oh no, he's losing the block, boys. He's lost it. Oh no. There's no. Okay, no power bombs. That's fine. Could still revert. I know that bombs and space jump were in the same room, so that's where phatscott's gonna have a little bit more of an advantage as far as movement goes. So yeah. So space jumping, gosh, I love space jump. But it sure as heck does not love me. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, we're scanning. We're scanning. Fortunately, that thing does not freeze, but we're making a safe jump there. Cool. It'll be alright. There's backtracking. Maybe goes to Torian. Yeah, so visual on the ship. Torian's right there. It's not far. One thing that might hurt just a tiny bit is the location that Kiara comes out of, because I think the next closest. Ooh. Wreck ship here. Okay. I mean, it could be worse, but let's see what phatscott finds. Oh, that's actually good though. I want to say that's good because it kind of tells phatscott, no, keep away. Just don't come here. Leave me alone. Just please leave me alone. You can jump your way up to that single platform, but of course, having spring ball just makes it a lot easy. Or map here. This was also really quick. Gonna see nothing. Might opt. Oh my gosh, some of these majors are just disastrous. So that is gonna be worth picking up. That's the one major that is worth picking up. If this is gravity, holy. Okay, more ammo. Definitely already ammoed though. Same with plasma. Plasma is good. Gets you to play risky. Through some heat. Making a play. Good kill here for Fat Scott. See the spark here. The spark tech for Kiara. Wants the health. Can't be too safe. Okay. Okay, so one suit each. Wow. I think there hasn't really been any punishing heated rooms. So, because I'm gonna say because Fatska hasn't really been putting that Varia suit into much use. It's not like there's really a need either. Farming up. Does not want to. That room is kind of scary to die in, so it wouldn't be worth it. So this is worth. This is worth. So you could play it safe. It's gonna be scary. I think maybe this area is definitely where it will pay off a lot. Okay, careful. Nice. We're chilling. Oh no. Oh no. Please no. No. Oh my gosh. No. He's right there. Are you kidding me? That is a lot of progress lost. Oh no. No. Why? Oh heck, that was incredibly brutal. And we have Fat Scott here entering criteria to get that ship located. Oh, now, as we saw, this area was this side is the farthest from where the map is, so maybe for Fat Scott it would be just a little bit easier to traverse through the other, not like Stranger Things the other, but like just go back down and go through Brinstar and then try to poop yourself out on the other side of criteria. Oh, that is hurts. That hurts so bad. I'm really sorry for it's such a rough that she was playing her heart out and was making like such I don't know, just such bold plays. They were all paying off. Finding gravity is I do have to say she should definitely more than pat herself on the back, because that was spectacular. Kiara was very much cooking. One good thing. Okay, so here's just something to keep in mind. It's gonna be a matter of like how all the rooms are really close. Every single one of them. Kiara just has to play for ammo, which kind of already has, so it's fine. I mean, if you look right now, I think they all have the same amount of Metroid rooms down. I mean, phatscott has one, the one over in Norfair, down in Norfair. phatscott's probably gonna. phatscott still has to get ship location, something that Kiara already has. Kiara could use this time to instead go down to Norfair and check a new area, because Torian was in it. And it seems like that would be the best play. So anything can still happen. Nice, good recovery. I think this. Oh no. Okay, Kiara does still have high jump. So I was trying to really think about how many items Kiara lives. But it looks like we're chilling. Given this, okay, safety save. Oh, phatscott got tricked also by the classic toilet too. Won't take much to get him back on track. So you see that? Okay, so this is what Kiara's looking at. Criteria is right there. She already knows what is at criteria. The next thing, if you're gonna play that risky and you're gonna be behind, and it looks like she's doing it, is to go get these major items. Pretty much follow the path that phatscott just had at the beginning. Get the major items and rage and hope that what you're looking for is what you're looking for. So phatscott has found the ship. Ooh, Kiara's not gonna get these major items. Interesting. That's very interesting. Head on down. Unless I forgot that Kiara still has wreck ship as well. So it's gonna be kind of a that. It's gonna go all the way around. It's gonna go down through Rock Speedway. It looks like maybe even just trying to like saw the save, and because wreck ship is close enough as well, might be playing risky to try to check whatever is at Norfair first. If it's a bust, could save scum it over to wreck ship, and then that might work out. Which would be a bold, brilliant play. Either way, what Kiara's doing right now is definitely the move. This is all gonna pay off for sure. is a little bit tragic about the super count, and and that's even that's even a little bit more scary, but it is not for naught. That's over here. You're not gonna want to take. Thinking herself, should I commit to Norfair or should I just do? Okay, yeah. This is it. This is good. This is good. So with this, there we are. So that's perfect. This is exactly all that Kiara needed, which we had seen on phatscott screen already. Hold. Oh, taking that bath. Oh my gosh. No. Spatial would be so based right now. Okay, but yeah, phatscott was the first one to make it to Mother Brain 1. Just gotta do this. And that's it, right? I think just book it to the ship. Yeah, so it's funny because phatscott did a lot of unnecessary checks, a lot of unnecessary traveling. Kiara was in a really good position. It is just the biggest sadness taking that death when she did, because that was really good. And even this routing, this almost made for like a really good comeback. Unfortunately, time loss was just much too much. But yeah, what an interesting match. I think, yeah, like phatscott could have lost to thankfully, like, you know, also he didn't. But the thing is, the areas that he chose to go to just were not the ones that didn't pay off at all. I don't know if Kiara had that in mind to try to get ship location first before going down to all the other areas that were at the bottom of the Brinstar map, because it's like, okay, logically it makes sense that at some point you have to find out where the ship location is, right? So I don't know if this is exactly what she was thinking, but she scouts the ship location and then figures that there's more to check at the bottom, so let's just get that out of the way first before hunting the expanded world of Super Metroid. And I think phatscott just kind of stuck to his guns and just started searching everything. I'm trying to think of, maybe because he was already down closer to the Norfair area, which is good because he kind of got a visual on every single room, every single Metroid room, right? Like, that did work out. I just don't know if he might have forgotten an objective, if he thought he needed to get more ammo. But there was something that just ended up costing phatscott a lot of time. steer. I think phatscott does have some really good movement, so. Yep, he is the ship, and GG to phatscott, taking the first match. These are the rooms that are annoying. But yeah. And another cool thing is that all 3 matches, potentially, you know, if it does go to game 3, are back to back. So Osu will be your
Let me just get in to prove I got there, okay?
For the rest of
all right.
For the rest of the matches. Oh, I can hear her. I can hear her. I can hear her thoughts. I'm listening.
I made it here. All right.
See? I'm telling, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that death is the only thing that costs so much. As we can hear. Because she was right there. She made up a lot of time in skipping everything, since she already had the knowledge and the items and such. Ugh.
I'm assuming it was not close. Did he also go no suits?
What I will say again, it's like, if they watch it back, Kiara especially, Kiara being like the newest to anything Super Metroid related, this went so hard. She should definitely like applaud herself for how she played. She plays them really good. phatscott, of course, you're the one that's favored to take these. Let's see what kind of surprises the following matchups I guess throw at us. And yeah, we're in it for the long run, as this was only game 1.
All right, friends, welcome back to the SM Map Rando Multicategory Tournament. Game 2 of phatscott versus Kiara. My name's Eddie. Sefi was here with you for game 1. I'm here with you for game 2, and we still have Osu on tracking, so thank you for that. But yeah, first game, pretty exciting. It looked like it may not have been close, but it was in fact very close. But yeah, now we're on game 2, and we're gonna see what happens here. This one is going to be Varia plus movement. The first one was the Metroids with Noah Mother Brain 2. This one, you're going to start with Varia suit, and we're going to start with Ice, Spring, High Jump, and Grapple. So you can think of this as a pseudo gravity. You can do pretty much all of the rooms, maybe -1, with this loadout. Some of the rooms will be a little bit more complicated to traverse, of course, but yeah, we're going to see how our runners will fare today. Let's just double check to make sure that they're going, and they're off. Okay, there we go. So first things first, they're going to be heading to the right to grab that item. We'll see what it is. Decent chance it's going to be more for some sort of missile, ammo, something like that. E-tank. Okay, right off the bat. And yeah, that first game was quite close, mainly because Scott did sort of have the god route coming into the room, but Scott had no idea that there was an extra Metroid room on the top right, so wasn't able to really complete the game as fast as he wanted. Probably left about 10 minutes on the table. So Kiara had a real shot in that one, but unfortunately took a death collecting a gravity suit. So Scott going all the way to the left, that blanks out. So Kiara is currently going the right way. Scott decides to reset. That's probably about time neutral. And here we go, Kiara with an E-tank. So Kiara currently ever so slightly ahead. Ever so slightly ahead. All right, so we have a few rooms to check. We cannot check the rooms like the crab hole because we don't have morph at the moment. Still looking for that. So it looks like Kiara's going to head over to the top left and check that door. phatscott loses the grapple as he's trying to go up right now to the right. Is going to make it to the right with the extra E-tank. Now, that was the Bryn Reserve room. So there's 2 items that they're leaving behind there. It is kind of hard to sometimes remember that you have to go back there to collect the 2 items because they don't have the morph to do it right now. And Kiara looks like she went the right way because there are 2 items in here that are both attainable, and looks like one of them is a major and one of them is a missile. Charge beam. Okay. So in map rando, charge generally is considered a filler item. And while it can be progression, the way that it works in hard tricky is these beams are considered filler items. So that charge could have also just been a missile, but that does not mean the charge can't give you progression. So we might have to do something like Croc, which would give us, like if we had a Croc down there, a charge would now give us access to that. But the game is not actively placing a key item, treating the charge as like a key item. Very often what you'll see is if you see an item like Speed Booster, there's probably like a 90% chance that's what you're going to have to use to progress. But if you find a beam, that's not necessarily the case. So Kiara now making her way to the left where Scott was doing that earlier and is just going to find a save point. Scott had no need for using that save point earlier because Kia had made basically no progression at this point, but Kiara is definitely going to save the progression that she picked up. So Scott finding the Turian hoppers on the bottom left. Now that's a little spicy. With this amount of health, that should be doable, but it looks like Scott doesn't really want to commit to that right now, especially because he collected the items and did not save it. So Kiara would probably be a little bit more incentivized to actually just be willing to go through. Scott instead choosing to check this bottom door, which has caution tape. So let's see. Aha, this is not progression because he does not have explosives. So Kiara is going to know that, oh, Kiara is choosing. Kiara unequipped the spring ball, but she doesn't actually have morph here. So she and Scott are both going to be stuck here. Oh, Scott still doesn't realize that he doesn't have morph. He's trying to morph, but he doesn't have morph. So both of them are stuck, but Scott's going to have to recollect everything, whereas Kiara is just going to reload the save. So once again, she's a little bit ahead here, a little bit ahead. Kiara will also trying to do a spring ball jump, but does not have morph. So resets. And yeah, Scott's going to have to make his way to the top left, collect those items, and Kiara's going to go down to the bottom left, where she's going to be a little spooked by the hoppers, but probably be able to deduce that that's the only thing that they can do right now. All right, so this will be fun. We'll see what the game has in store for us right now. Yeah, sometimes it's easy to forget that you don't have morph in these settings. Oh, she's spooked. Okay, but only doing 60 damage. They're a lot scarier when you don't have any suits. And we're probably finding morph right here. This looks like a morph. Could be a speed booster. Could be a few things, I guess. But yeah, there we go, morph. Now, technically, Kiara could have soft locked here if that door was a green door or a another type of door. But now her way to get back is she's going to have to do a mock ball. And this is the key thing to remember. The Bryn Reserve room that we left behind now has one more item accessible. And that's what we're going to have to go. All right, good on Kiara. Not panicking right there. Makes it through. So we also have the crab hole that we can take. But this is kind of where it can be a little difficult to remember that there is, in fact, an extra room that we have to go back to that we did not fully clear out yet. I don't think that platform is good enough. Yeah, she's going to have to wait for the crab to go a little bit further. She could also wall jump off the Turian hopper room, but choosing not to do that, just decides to make it up here and grapple up the poamps up there. They're called, the little balloons are called poamps. So it looks like she is trying to collect a little bit of health. Scott is also making his way over, grabs the missiles, gets the morph. And now here's the question: is she going to go into the crab hole without going into the Bryn Reserve? Okay, so that is what she's doing. Now, if this is progression, this could be bad for her. Ideally, this blanks out for a while. I'm assuming I don't know if she's forgotten about the top right items. But see, this is maybe kind of worst case scenario. Ideally, she's incentivized to turn around right away, and she is. So she did have that save. Let's see if Scott goes to the top right, because that's definitely where we have to go right now. No, Scott is going to the top left. Did he collect the items? No. Okay, so Scott remembers the Bryn Reserve room we left behind. So both players now kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, but it looks like Scott's going to get there first. Now, given that we're locked out of almost everything, there's a high chance we're probably going to find bombs or power bombs. Honestly, a good chance it's going to be something like power bombs, and then we're going to see the item behind just be, you know, something else as well. And here we go. We have power bombs. So this gives access to a few things. And there's another pack of missiles. So first of all, obviously, we saw a path that Kiara took that was locked by power bombs. However, there was also the Meridia tube that we can blow up, and that is another place that we can go to as well. Alternatively, we can now go down the bottom right where we found Oasis, and we could not make our way down. However, that should not be in logic yet because we can't actually get up logically unless you were to do we can't currently get up logically. We'd have to do an underwater wall jump, or if we had supers, we'd be able to knock down the crab to climb up there, but that's not currently actually, no. We have spring ball, so bottom right should also be in logic. So what's Kiara's next play here? Scott going straight to the right, decides to save, doesn't want to get burned again, and Kiara is choosing to go straight to Oasis that we found earlier. So, a little divergence here. Let's see what happens here. I kind of prefer where Scott's going because that is closer to where the map is. Whereas Kiara is kind of going somewhere this is essentially blind checking a little bit, whereas Scott may be going towards the map. So, a little bit of information. Let's see. I think Kiara's going to wall jump to see what the item is up here. Scott probably is going to end up finding this room because this appears to be the side that well, Scott's gonna get the map first. We'll have the information on this item, and that's speed. So Scott is going to grab this map and then see that there's a major over here, and then speed. It's actually the access to it is where Scott is from. So, ooh, other brain as well. Interesting. Okay. Oh, this could be a little complicated. In order to get back up from the speed booster hallway item, they're gonna have to do kind of one of the more tricky maneuvers in this mode, which is they're going to have to actually climb the crab, barring some sort of like crazy speed keep blue item to get them down the climb super shaft. What they're actually gonna have to do is freeze the crabs and basically get back up the hole. I mean, they could also do something like a double spring mill jump to get back up there, but it's honestly, unless you kind of play map round as a good amount or figure out a strat, it can get kind of annoying. So we'll see how both players sort of attempt this. Scott is an interesting player because Scott is very, very well versed in lots of Super Metroid, all sorts of categories. Plays, you know, GT Classics, KPDR, Hondo. Has played a multitude of categories. Has lots of experience in Rando in general, but has not played a huge amount of just pure map rando, which a lot of people in this tournament has. So has a little bit of experience lacking in there, but no experience lacking in Super Metroid in general. Kiara is definitely just a little bit newer. So these players' seeds are the 20th seed versus the 45th seed. So that sort of tells the story here. But Kiara has played a good amount of map rando at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see where those strengths will kind of come. We see that Scott, you know, sort of his lack of map rando experience did sort of bite him a little bit in the previous seed. All right, so speed booster required for Scott. Let's see his technique for getting up here. Oh, he's attempted to do a really difficult wiggle strat. And how is he going to do this? There's 3 crabs left. There's 4 crabs total in this room. The fastest way to do this room is to freeze the left crab. That would take 7 shots total, with your 7th shot freezing the crab on the left. And you want to have the crab frozen, kind of overhanging the top left corner. And yeah, this isn't. I don't think Scott has a really good strategy for this room. So we'll see how long it takes him to get up here. The simplest way to kind of approach this is to probably freeze the crab, kind of at the hole over there, and then just doing a single spring ball jump up to that crab, and then jumping up from there. And I think that's what Scott's gonna do. Now, this is just kind of like, yeah, this is kind of the. You could probably just kind of figure this out strat. But, you know, you could still kind of mess it up. Looks like Scott's going to have to refreeze this crab. We're going to see how Kiara approaches this in a second. Okay, there we go. So you can see Scott. The way that Scott did that, honestly, that was kind of some improvision right there. So improvised a little bit and was able to get through. All right. So we have Scott now heading back. I don't know if there's much left to do. By the way, it is important to point out that this does have Mother Brain in the beginning. So the players, the routing is a little bit more simplified. You don't have to think too much about like, oh, I have to kill Ridley right here, right now, in certain situations. Because we do know that in the end, we're going to have to go back to Mother Brain no matter what. But obviously that still will depend on what happens here. So Kiara making her way to the left here. Now she didn't end up getting the map, which I think she could have a while ago. So she's gonna run into Mother Brain here and probably be a little surprised. But yeah, we'll have to figure out a way to get up the crab hole. And we'll see what Scott does here. All right. Scott is now going to head over and grab that X that we see earlier. Now, at this stage of the game, you can't really mess around. You have to sort of collect all of the X's that you see when you don't have the starting items. There's a good chance this is just going to be a super missile. There we go. Now, we perhaps could have deduced that. I didn't get a good clear look at the map. It could have been super locked to get to the next region, and then we could immediately deduce that that has to be supers. But let's see how Kiara approaches this. So, is she going to approach it the same way? It looks like she's planning on... nice mock ball from Scott right there. That was very impressive. It looks like she's going to approach it the same way as Scott. Freeze it while it's kind of overhanging. Have to get the little lineup correct. I think she's going to bonk the ceiling here, which is going to kind of be a little annoying. Scott did the same thing here, so... Oh, killed the crab, so she's going to have to reload this room. But it looks like she has a strategy to get through. And yes, it looks like the left side was... actually, no, I don't think the left side was super locked. I didn't get a quick look on Scott's map, but yeah, it looks like we definitely had to continue this way. Okay, Kiara killed one of those crabs, so 3 more crabs. The easiest way is to just take 2 crabs out and then just only focus on one. I don't know if she shot that one enough. Oh, she accidentally killed the crab. So let's see if she can get it on this next attempt. Meanwhile, Scott is going to make his way over to the exit over here. And so now what we're going to want to do is go into the crab hole for Scott and progress onwards. So we're pretty much done completely with this area. We're going to come back once we have all the bosses done. All right. I think this is going to work for Kiara here. There we go. One little jump out and she is out. Now, I do think that she was sort of, she had her eyes on the speed booster, which, because she got that information, oh, Scott is going to, I think Scott's going to take a death here. That'll be fine. Oh, does he know how to get through? No, that's fine. There was a save not too long ago. That is not trivial to get through on 2 tanks. I don't even know if that's in logic with the current loadout that they have, given how difficult that is. It may be that they have to go immediately to the right door. I didn't check right away, but that might legitimately be what they have to do. Okay, so Kiara making her way back to the left. Taking a little hit there. So one thing, I really wish Kiara did get the map over here earlier. I don't think she had it at the time. That's why she had to kind of find that Mother Brain. But I think she had her eyes set on the speed booster that she saw earlier. All right, let's see how Scott approaches this now. Oh, actually taking a hit. So he might die here again. I think Scott's going to head down. Decides to just reset. Now, if I'm reading that correctly. Let me see. Was that a new region entirely? If that's a new region entirely, then I think I would rather Scott just go down first. But it probably just depends on if the map was there. So we'll see what it looks like in Scott's point of view again. I didn't quite get... I don't know if he was able to pause and see the map, but we'll see. But going up there and expecting to dodge the key hunters is not necessarily something that you're expected to do. So, yeah, I think maybe just go down, Scott. That's okay. So Kiara hopefully doesn't get burned right here. Now this is a bit of a gamble. I don't think she realizes she might. Okay, she's thinking. I think she's knowing that, oh, if this isn't supers, I'm gonna get locked out. So she's turning around. There we go. That was a smart play. She's gonna have to do that whole crab climb again if she messes. If that's not exactly supers. So decides to opt out for that. And I think she is gonna go and get the X at the bottom right instead, which she can probably at this point deduce is supers. Okay, so Scott with some maneuvering is able to get through. Takes the top left door. Now, is he going to pause? Does he know that Does he know the map is in the direction? Okay, so that's why Scott wanted to go up there. Because Scott wanted to take, even regardless of logic or not, Scott wanted to go to the top because he knows that the map is in this direction. So that's why he was so adamant about going through rather than going down, which... going down, you know, is a little bit less likely to be logic. So Kiara looks like she's going to take a little bit of a gamble. She's going to go back and see if she can get the X at the top left. Now, that's a soft lock if it's not a super. Because she currently has no way to get out. Scott did end up getting the supers on the bottom right, which are the logical ones. But I want to say Scott actually did attempt this earlier. So, yeah. Let's see here. So, Crade over in Criteria. And not much else. It looks like I can't really see any other majors. There's a North entrance in the bottom right. So it's pretty much just Crade here. Now, this is the interesting thing. You don't really have to kill Crade right now. You can just go straight to Norfair because we have to come back through all of this. This is essentially a giant funnel. You're starting at the end of the game where Mother Brain is. And because this is just a giant, it's just okay, so Kiara got the bad news. It's power bomb, so she knows I can't get out. I would have used the supers to get out, but that was not the case. So let's go get the X at the bottom right. That's her next step. Following in what Scott was able to do earlier. So the way you can think of this current map is it's a giant funnel. You're starting in Turian, and Mother Brain is here, so you know at the end of the game you're coming back here. Now, Criteria is just actually another single connection. You know, you go from Turian, you go to Criteria, and there's not really anything here other than Crade and an entrance to Norfair. So, if Kiara decides, Scott has a lot of speedrunning experience, and, you know, still took a few deaths going up the Key Hunter shaft. If Kiara realizes, like, hey, this is actually really difficult, it might not be in logic. These Key Hunters are hitting me for 100. I think it actually is in logic with the amount of health that they have. However, if she decides that, okay, this is a little too difficult, I'm going to go down instead, even though the map is up there, then that is technically going to be going the right way. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out when Kiara ends up going to Criteria herself. It looks like Scott is heading to the left. I think he might be going to Crade and just taking Crade out along the way. And that's fine. You can take care of Crade right now, but you also don't have to. His powerbomb count is looking a little sketchy though. So let's see what happens. If all else fails, he can fall down here. No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. So he's gonna go through this left room, and then he's gonna go kill Crade, drop down, and then there's Batoon blocking the way. So let's see if there's another path alternatively. So looking a little trolly. I think saving. Honestly, from my point of view, if I got that map, I think I revert back to pre-Key Hunter shaft that Scott saw earlier. And Scott, if he wants, he could kill one of these guys for some power bombs, and he does. But if I was Scott, I think after getting that map, I would probably immediately reset pre-Key Hunter room. Instead of going up, I go straight into Norfair because that's where my progression is next. But Scott, as he's here, since he's by the map, decides, you know what, let's just take her Crane now. I have a hunch that Kiara is going to end up doing the same thing. So we'll see. So Scott's going to do this, probably take a save at the ship, and then head over to Norfair next. But once again, if you don't do Crade here, that's completely fine. You'll just come back and do it later, because you're going to hit up Crade along the way back. All right, so Kiara swinging over to the left. What is she going for next? Does she want the extra power bombs? Is that what she's here for? She is taking the save over here. If she is taking the save and then she's going to head over to Criteria, I think that's a little bit of a mistake because there is a save along the path already. So this is just a little bit more out of the way. Ah, okay. So she's taking the save so she can fall down here. Never mind. Okay. Excellent routing. Excellent routing. Checkmate, Eddie. You're wrong. Okay. Will she take the refill? Yes. She has to take the refill. She doesn't have the power bombs. But she could have also taken the path through the gravel and done that. But here we go. Entering Criteria. Scott's going to refill these power bombs. And what does Kiara do? She's going to get hit, and she sees the bug, she's panicking, and she's heading down. She hasn't had a chance to open the map yet. This is going to be interesting, because if you open the map, then you go, oh shoot, I need to go up. But she hasn't really had time to think. So she's going to be entering Norfair suddenly. And yeah, so she's in Norfair ahead of Scott right now. Doesn't have the Kraid kill, so I would still consider Scott to be ahead. Run! The snail's coming! Scott has a few more resources, an extra E-tank. And also has the a few extra missiles, or one extra missile pack. Scott's also almost dead, because those key hunters do 100 damage when you don't have both suits here. Now, Kiara's going up here, I think... yeah, that's fine. I think she wants to see if she could spike the map. I personally would probably just grab the aqueduct items first. Just because they're quick. And there's a chance that you can't actually get to this map, but it looks like she's going to be able to. However, this looks like Phantoon. So will she just immediately check the right doors? No. If she uses his power bomb, she is going to soft lock unless she can do an extremely tight short charge. So I would rather go fight Phantoon if possible, yes. Fires a super into the door. Now, Scott does not have the health to do the speed booster. And this is, he dies. So, yeah, so Scott, first of all, has 44 HP, but also was not holding dash entering the room. So that was a little awkward. And how is Kiara going to approach this? So she wants the map, but if she goes through this door, she will be able to get some supers back as well as some power bombs, because that is Caterpillar room. And I think Kiara might be willing to fight Phantoon. So let's see. This is Phantoon. All right. Now, Kiara has been grinding some KPDR, and she has gotten better at the Phantoon fight. However, you know, Phantoon's still not an easy boss. This is where I would definitely give the edge to Scott. Having a lot more experience, but let's see if she can get through. Okay. Hasn't practiced much of the Dopplering, but as long as you can get, like, you know, if you can complete this in 4 rounds without having much experience, that's honestly extremely good, I would say. Now, Scott, I think, typically may do X-Factor strats. I'm not really sure. I don't know how clean his Dopplers are. So we'll see how much different this fight is. Both these players. Kiara currently on round 3. Getting slows. Okay, it looks like missed the eye open there. Ooh, Kiara missed the eye open as well. 25 health. Kiara's got to be careful. Ooh, Scott's got to be careful too. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Kiara's going to have to pseudo. It looks like Phantoon might be just a missile or 2 short on the death. Scott, I don't think is going to be able to complete it on this round as well. Unless he can get a huge Doppler here. Not quite. Okay. So I think both of these players are going to complete around the same time. Nope. It looks like Scott's going to be just a smidgen faster here. There we go. All right, so both of these players syncing up a little bit here. Keep in mind, Scott does have the Kraid kill, and also has the map, but the map is sort of along the way towards Kraid anyway in the first place. So honestly, game on still. Game on still. Scott just saying, I don't like seeing that door unopened. And both are heading towards the map. Okay, a few majors, one free major, Ridley there on the left. Now, if both these players are able to kind of deduce what's going on here, you would be best off not doing that Ridley right now. Now, you see Ridley, however, we know Mother Brain is back at the beginning of the game, right? And we're currently going down like a straight funnel. And so you, at this point, even no matter what, if you kill Ridley or you don't kill Ridley right now, you need to continue deeper into the dungeon, essentially. And then after we find Dragon, who is the last boss that we're currently trying to find. Although that being said, Kiara might be in a precarious situation because she has no idea where Kraid is, and Kraid is back in Criteria. But there's a lot of things that can happen here. Okay, so the best situation for Kiara is going to be at the very end of this dungeon. After we're going deeper and deeper into the dungeon, and then we have to come all the way back to the beginning of the game for Mother Brain. If Meridia has Dragon, that's bad for Kiara, because what's going to end up happening is Kiara's going to go into Meridia, and she's going to find Dragon. They're going to take care of Dragon, and then they're going to go, and then they may, both of these players are going to, basically what's going to happen with Scott is going to turn around, kill Ridley, and go beat the game. Kiara, however, has no idea where Kraid is, so if she goes to Meridia, she finds Dragon, and she beats, and then she beats Dragon, and then she finds Brinstar, she finds Rex Ship. She kind of has to go into Brinstar and Rex Ship, where Scott is not going to do that, and that would be devastatingly bad. So the ideal circumstance for Kiara is going to be, you have to continue deeper and deeper until you find Dragon. So I would say advantage is going fairly heavily on Scott's side on how this map rando ends up turning out, just because Scott was able to get that criteria map cleared out and knew that there was a boss there. All right, so Scott is going to head down to the right, is going to pick up this major. Let's see what Kiara's doing next. Both players have Spazer. You can see that Scott has a little bit of that movement advantage on Kiara. Kiara only just recently kind of learning the any percent route, has been practicing a little bit. However, Scott has many years of experience on Kiara here in terms of speedrunning. So movement advantage is definitely gonna go here to Scott. All right, so we got that wave beam and we got that Spazer. This is that full Fantune first loadout for any percent. Now it looks like Kiara's gonna snail climb. I think. She's seeing. Is she seeing that major now? Is she choosing not to go for that major? She can get it. She can get it because she does have high jump spring. It's perfectly in logic. She doesn't really need wave, but it looks like she just wants to go up here instead. It is just wave beam, so might not need it, but we'll see. Kiara wants to head over and clear out criteria. Okay, so she is doing this right now, but if she doesn't have this, Scott, unless he knows how to do this spring ball tech, is gonna have to reload this room. Scott should know from probably other randomizer experiences and maybe other modes that this room is doable with ice. However, these Evers can be really annoying. Very often they shoot a projectile at you and it eats your shot. They're really obnoxious. So can he make it from that height? Yes, he does. Okay, so there you go. That's that Fat Scott experience here. Kiara is probably panicking a little bit. Has to make it through. I would say just take one hit here. Oh, she's gonna just shoot. This is gonna take a long time. This is not a strong beam. Personally, if I were her, I would take the 100 damage and just kind of progress with the 13. At the very least, I would probably use a few supers, but yeah, okay. Anyway, she gets through. That's fine. Honestly, you have to do the strategy that's going to let you survive, because dying is sort of the worst case scenario. Now, I kind of would like Kiara to maybe pause and kind of see which direction the map is. I think if you do that here, you would probably be incentivized to check the left, but it looks like either way you get into the climb, so. Huh. It looks like she knows that this is going to be a dead end, so I think she's going to check this door. And that's fine as well. Oh, not exactly a dead end, but... Yeah, she's not really going towards the map. So essentially, the way that Kiara's kind of approaching this is kind of blind checking a little bit. I would prefer her to go up the climb room after seeing that the map is, you know, I would say fairly clearly above the climb room. But I think it looks like these rooms may blink out pretty quickly, so yeah, there we go. Gets a missile for her efforts. All right, and Scott is heading back over to the caterpillar room. What's Scott doing here? If I remember correctly, the Meridia entrance was to the right. Was there something else that he wanted to check out? Is he just maxing out his resource? Oh, Scott is taking care of Ridley right now. Now, this is what I was talking about. I think this is ultimately a mistake from Scott. It's not a big mistake because, you know, he's going to be able to do this reasonably quickly. It's a minor mistake at this point, but because his beam is... If his beam was worse, I would say this is just an outright mistake. However, this is just kind of mostly fine now because this beam is good enough. So with 2510, this fight is going to take somewhere in the vicinity of roughly 35 charge shots-ish, something like that. Maybe I think it's going to be about 40 charge shots, something like that, with the rest of his ammo. Oh, Scott could be in trouble here. He's going to fall in the acid. Uh-oh. I think he'll be fine. But the fact of the matter is, you're gonna have to go down anyway and go kill. You're gonna have to go down anyway as Kiara gets the map. You're gonna have to go down anyway and kill. Find Dragon. So if you just on the way of finding Dragon, you just run into Plasma, or you know, the more likely thing is as you're going to Dragon, you just find. Awkward situation for Scott. There's a good chance that you're going to find like a better plasma, or you're going to find better equipment. The more reasonable thing is you're going to find like just a handful more supers along the way to Dragon as you're just trying to complete the game. Then you can come back and the fight's just going to be faster. However, Scott, it's really not that big of a deal, and Scott's just choosing to take care of Ridley right now. Now, the reason why we can leave Ridley behind is we know we have to go deeper. To go find Dragon, and then we're going to come back up anyway, and we're going to pass Ridley once again. So, Kiara going up. Looks like she wants to go take care of Kraid as well right now. And then she's probably going to make her way over to North afterward. Now, Scott has to be a little careful here. He's a very experienced runner. However, something that will often catch people off guard is you think that the fight is just a comfy fight, but you kind of have to remember that you're taking twice as much damage as you normally do because you have Varia. So you got to be a little careful here. Those body shots are going to hit you for 80, I believe. The tails will hit you for 60. It's not... Oftentimes when we have 3 tanks in any percent, speedrunners will save time by just trying to run underneath the tail and take the hit if needed, just to save seconds. And if you kind of autopilot that mode and don't think, you'll take way more damage than you think. Scott, however, approaching this fight calm and collected. I don't expect Kiara to do this fight. She has gotten quite good at the Ridley fight recently, having learned how to manipulate Ridley properly. As you're seeing Scott do, Scott's constantly manipulating Ridley to turn around and stay in this pogo situation. Now, that is something that Kiara has learned recently, but still, doesn't have the years of experience that Scott does on this fight. So I don't know if she's going to approach this fight with this loadout. She'll probably save it for later. All right, so Scott scanning out what to do. We don't see any majors here. Don't really need anything. A little surprised that both of these players forgoed the E-Tank that was in Aqueduct. You can just spark up there with that speed booster, even without the gravity. I mean, even I would like the extra E-Tank, just because I could just barrel through stuff like the Key Hunters without having to worry. Ooh, nice maneuvering from Scott. Kiara getting a quick refill on our power bombs. Scott loving the wall jumps. I would normally just grab those ledges, but Scott sees a single tile and says, "I want to wall jump that." I like that approach. Oh, the bottom left is underwater. Okay, I didn't realize that. All right, looks like the players know better than I do. Ah, yes, that's an underwater save. Okay. All right, so got heading up. Should be heading over to Meridia now. Kiara heading over to Kraid. Okay, how is Scott going to approach this? Was the sandpit not an available option to get towards Meridia? I think the left sandpit was. If for Scott to make it up that ledge, he's gonna have to let go of jump. When you do a wall jump and you hold away from the wall, there's a weird property that happens with Samus. It's called being in the wall jump pose, where if you press down once afterwards, that's how we do the trick known as the Alcatraz in the speedrun. But essentially, if you do a wall jump and you press down a single time, you will instantly morph, and that's because we're in a state called a wall jump pose. And the funny thing about being in the wall jump pose, it looks like you're just doing a normal spin jump, but your hitbox is actually just as big as when Samus is just like unbroken on spin. So when Scott was trying to wall jump up there and he kept missing the ledge even though he looked like he should have cleared it, how you kind of break out a wall jump pose easily is you let go of jump. It sounds counterintuitive because letting go of jump will let you fall. However, letting go of jump after a wall jump will make your hitbox actually reflect the spin. And that's what Scott kind of had to do to get through a little bit more easily. Oh, a little awkward. Scott's going to have to super that guy to get through. And we see DLC on Kiara's side. Alright, Charge Shot should make quick work of Kraid here. Also can shoot a few missiles. I think one more shot should do it. Kiara has Kraid down. Alright, supers for Scott. This could potentially be a fun map. Ideally, you take this bottom door and it just hooks to the right. And then you see doors continuing to the left and you get that sinking feeling that you're going to have taken a right door at the top. But this is Big Pink. A lot of doors connecting, including more right doors, so got probably on the right track. Now, we did say earlier that the best situation for Kiara would be if the bosses, if Dragon were to be right here immediately and no other regions, or sorry, if Dragon was deep at the depths of, at the back of all the regions. However, now that Kiara did find Kraid, that is irrelevant now. So now it's just a matter of who is going to find Dragon first and take care of it. Kiara obviously is just a little bit behind. Part of that can be attributed to just how it ended up routing out. The routing ended up working out nicer for Scott. Kiara had to double back because she did come into Norfair first. And so then she had to go back. But part of it also just Scott's movement has been incredibly good and on point. Okay. So, really nothing here. Just going to be the entrance to Bryn. And this will be interesting. Now, is Scott going to go for the majors here? Or is he going to just say, nah, I'm just going to head over to Bryn right now? I think my opinion here would be, I would just go and ignore the majors at this point. One of the reasons you would maybe get those majors is if you want that Ridley fight to be a little bit faster. Because, Plasma has value. However, Scott did kill Ridley. I mean, yes, it'll make Mother Brain a little bit faster, but it's really not that big of a deal and definitely not worth going out of your way for. So from my point of perspective, because we have Varia plus movement, we started with the high jump, the spring, and all that stuff, all that jazz. I would just go ahead and not get these majors and move on and just find that Dragon. However, Scott chooses to go to the right. I didn't quite see the map. If this is just kind of along the way, then you would definitely just check this if it's really close. Okay, so Kiara taking a good look at the map, sees the Meridia, and is planning on going to the Meridia. She's thinking about the Ridley and how she has to do that, but I don't know if she is going to do that right now with this loadout. And she definitely does not have to. Okay, so bombs for Scott. Now, I'm not sure where the next major is for Scott. We'll see if he goes for that one. This is not the room you want to go into, I think. Ah, okay, it is. Ah, okay, these majors are really close, so I guess you just get these majors for sure. And there's that plasma. Yeah, those majors are close. You just snag those majors for sure. And Scott is going to go through Pants Room. Kiara getting a little bodied by those key hunters, but Scott also did, to be fair, as well. So those rooms are always a little bit dangerous. And yes, this map is extremely linear. All right, Kiara going to take the save. Now let's see if she goes down the sandpit now, or if she chooses to go go somewhere else, to Meridia essentially. I think she's going for the sandpit. Scott trying to flex Hondo strats there, but unfortunately misses the missile. We're gonna say that he just didn't want the missile. Okay, I think Kiara is making her way over to sandpit. Now, is she gonna take the left or right sandpit? Is she gonna head over to Meridia, or is she gonna try to get this major? She's gonna head over to Meridia. I'm a little surprised that Kiara isn't going for this major. It is just wave, so it's not necessary. But still, a little surprised that she didn't want the major here. Ooh, Kiara might be in a precarious situation. Meanwhile, Scott entered Brinstar. She's going to get hit once here. That's going to hit for 50. She's got to be careful. Oh, she might take a death here. Yep, takes the death. That's okay. There's a save. Not too far away, but she's going to have to think about this because her health right now from the key hunters is not that great. Scott's going to check this right item. Probably wants the E-Tank, honestly. Gets the E-Tank. Ooh, gets smacked by Mama Turtle. Gonna get hit again, maybe? Okay. Big 100 damage right there, even with the Varia suit. But yeah, these Evers down here for Kiara, they hit for 50, 100 with no suit. So a long time ago, these settings are hard and tricky. It's tricky item progression. Now, there was a time a long time ago where tricky item progression did not give a free E-Tank essentially at the start of the game. Part of that was there was a lot of water movement you had to do here, and when you start with 0 E-Tanks at the start of the game and you have to go through this room, what happened a lot is these guys would just snipe you, instantly take you out, just like that. So that was one of, I would say, probably the big deciding factors of Tricky giving an early E-Tank, because the game is honestly kind of rough to play without having at least one tank at the beginning of the game. All right, now Scott making his way quickly over to this map. Scott honestly playing pretty phenomenally, I'd say. And some majors and wreck ships. So now this is the kind of situation I was saying where if Kiara did not know where Kraid was, this is kind of like, this is the way that the map would have to be for her to not get too punished. Because let's say Dragon were right here. Scott beats Dragon and turns around. Doesn't have to go into this wreck ship. But the way that it is right now, you pretty much just have to check all the regions. It's very linear. One region to one region to one region, all the way back to the first region turn. Oh, Kiara, I think panicking a little bit. She's gonna lay the power bomb. She's gonna have to lay 2, and I think that should take care of both the Evers. She should be safe here. Okay, heads to the right. I don't think I want to go. I would not go to the right there like Kiara is right now. I definitely would not open that door. But if I had to choose between the elevator and using the super to enter the right, I would definitely pick the elevator because you might not have a way back. So Kiara is kind of forced to go down here, sort of against her will a little bit, but is able to fortunately get some health back. So I would, in Kiara's shoes, I would love to pause here to see where exactly I'm going to go. And there you go. She sees the map. Scott is going down bowling. What is going on here? Kiara's going to run into bombs here, which is kind of nice. And she might take the refill at the right side of this room as well. This is kind of funny from Scott. Okay, so Kiara opts not to refill. I think she's going to probably head over to the map. This is... Bowling is... that's quite the decision. Is he going to go for the items? I don't know if I like going for these items at this point. Like, you could just be trying to spike gravity for fun, but you don't really need anything else at the end of the game. I think a key thing in randomizer is sort of being able to know when to like stop looking for items, and Scott is definitely at the point where he just does not need anything else. He's got full beam combo. He's got enough to get through pretty much every point of the game. So, but gets a super and a reserve tank for his efforts. Okay, and maybe he had the map, and I just, maybe I don't know if this was completely blind or that's really funny. Perhaps he had the map. I didn't really get a good look. That would make a lot more sense. But either way, I wouldn't have checked the items over there. He has more than enough to do everything that he needs to beat this game. So, Kiara finding Big Pink, having the power bomb, and Scott's got to be a little careful. Should be fine, but Dragon does hurt when you don't have gravity, so... ooh, he might get hit. No, he's gonna be okay. If you trigger Dragon's goop too early, the moment Dragon stops gooping, if you get hit by the goop, she will not actually chase you. So if you trigger the goop really early and then run to the right, then get grabbed, she won't actually, like... She'll kind of bug out and just pretend like the goop never hit you and just then eventually hit you. And based off the tiles, it looks like Scott did just kind of completely blind that, which is amazing. I guess he's refilling here, but from this point on, I want to see Scott just leave. The game is over. There's no need to do anything else. We already have the criteria information. We have the criteria map. Scott is in go mode here. He's just being a little extra careful here, and yeah, I think he's gonna go up and get out of here. Wait, okay, Scott's a genius? Does this connect back up to the right? Because Scott is just like a genius god router. Because if the way to Dragon would have been from this path, then he wouldn't have been able to actually make it through anyway. Would be kind of funny if this was a required bowling seat, actually. It'd be hilarious. Oh my goodness. Alright, Scott's a genius. Alright, Scott's heading up. Heading up and out here. And Scott's go mode. Now, where is Kiara heading over to? I think she took the wrong. I think she wants to grab a major, and I believe that might have been the incorrect room. Okay, she's gonna have to gate glitch. She did not get the wave that Scott has, so she's gonna have to do the gate glitch. Probably will grab the X along the way here as well. 25 power bombs. Wanted the extra supers. It doesn't really need it. Even without the wave, this beam is very capable. And Kiara's gonna go over and grab this reserve tank. A lot less health than Scott. All right, so 2 entrances into Bryn. I don't think Kiara really wants to take the left entrance. That's the Chozo Acid statue. That takes a while. The other entrance is definitely the better one to kind of go into without any information. Got bomb jumping up here. Double bomb jumps. Okay. Got flexing there. We got worst room in the game. Each of these pirates will hit for 100 damage, so gotta be a little bit careful. None of this is stuff that Scott is not familiar with, though. Scott's done these rooms hundreds, if not thousands of times. Probably thousands of times, if I had to guess. And is he just going to grab that tank? I think he sees that tank. He probably just wants to grab it, but also, yeah, shooting that door over to the right. Wants the free tank. Definitely does not need the tank, but wants it. Kind of would be too safe. Meanwhile, both of these players high-fiving right here, going to the same room. Kiara making her way down so she can get into Brinstar and defeat Dragon. Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about with that Ridley fight earlier. As you can see, in the process of going towards Dragon, Scott just kind of ran into Plasma. Would have made the Ridley fight a little bit better. Also ran into like 2 more super packs essentially, right? So killing Ridley back on the way up would have been a little bit better for him. Likewise, Kiara, I think, sort of is doing exactly that. However, I think a little bit less by choice. I think Kiara's just a little bit less comfortable with kind of the low eating situation and not having the strongest beam. Mine actually down the wave beam on Scott here. I don't think there's anything to do up on the right side that Kiara is trying to do. I think she just really doesn't want to mess with Mama Turtle, but she doesn't have a way to break out of that water, so. Don't think she wants the missiles. She's probably gonna check the right item as well. She sees the tank, probably wants the tank, but unfortunately is gonna fall. Now it's to deal with a very, very, very angry Mama Turtle. Ooh, I don't think she wants to do this. She's got 3 lives left on doing this. She's kind of gambling that this is going to be a refill. Okay, because if that's a reserve, she could have been in kind of a dangerous situation, but looks like she's okay. She's going to ride Mama Turtle at the top and jump back to the left. And she's good. Scott's any percent time, I want to say he's got a I want to say he's got like a mid 40 or something like that. I could be wrong on that one. Yeah, Scott's got a 45. Not sure if that's completely updated, but yeah, he's got a 45. So obviously very capable speedrunner. I don't think that's really even his main category, I want to say. I think just recently he said Hundo might have been his favorite category, but he's kind of played a lot of different things. Very, very experienced, has been around for a while at this point. All right, so Kiara gets the map. Doesn't find Dragon, so let's see if she opts to grab the majors or if she just goes into the next region. Meanwhile, Scott making his way over to Mother Brain, has more than enough health to beat the game. And there's a save along the way, so looking good for Scott. So this seed looking in pretty much gravityless. Kiara going ahead and grabbing this extra E-tank. Reserve tank in this case. Taking that save. Scott just flinging himself with that grapple beam. I always find it funny when Samus gets like a ton of velocity on the grapple. Just starts like slamming her body against like all the walls. It's like, that can't be very comfortable, but I guess those suits are quite powerful. Scott just decides, hey, I'm gonna take this save. That looked like a mistake for a second, but I think he just doubled back because he wanted that save just in case. He did take the save already in Everest, so I think a little conservative to take another save until a little bit closer. Given Scott's excessive, you know, I don't know if excessive is the right word, but given Scott's like numerous experiences with Mother Brain, I think he probably should be. He probably just doesn't like kind of isn't thinking about when he last saved exactly, but you know, Scott's more than safe on this Mother Brain with the experience that he has. One last pause, I think, to check that he has to hook down there and get to the left. Meanwhile, we have Kiara in the wreck ship. She's gonna take the save, and it's gonna be funny if she. I wonder if she has the same approach and takes the bowling right away. But we know that Sports Blonde is effectively blocking her. All right, Kiara now knows that bowling is right here. Okay, Scott. Okay, Scott pulling out some. I don't really know why he did that. Scott doing like essentially the GT Classic skip. I guess that's also like what you would do in Hundo. And no, you wouldn't do that in Hundo. I guess you could, but yeah, you kind of shot out the first 7, skip the second zeb. Gonna ultimately lose you a little bit of time though, because those 3 supers could have sped this fight up ever so slightly. Kiara finds out the bad news about Sports Mom. Tries to find an alternate route. And, oh, he's got health. He's fine. Yeah, Scott's fine. Kiara's trying to find a way down here. Gets the bad news. He's gonna say, you know what, I'm just gonna grab this item anyway. But what you had to do was exactly what Scott did. Just go down that bowling and then go back up Spore. That was pretty sick. Kiara gets rewarded with screw attack. And Scott is just gonna retrace the steps that he took since the beginning of the game. Except after we get into criteria, we're gonna sort of head a little bit more towards Kraid than we did going into Norfair. So straight into the crab hole. Guys gotta lay another power bomb right there. Getting scammed a little bit. Pausing to take a final look. Might have to take another look after this, but wanted to make sure he was going the right way. Good spark by Scott. Has a few choices. He could reverse amphitheater here if he wants to go straight left. Chooses not to. He's going to go through Bottoon hallway. Or he's going to go all the way up through the top. Is that the path? Looks like both options may have worked here. Yeah, the top route was kind of where he was going before, but maybe a little inefficient, but that's okay. And here we go, 16 seconds more than enough. Scott about to land and finish off a match 2-0. GG's to Scott. All right, and Kiara looks like she saw the finish and has forfeited. So GG's. All right, let's see if we can get these players in for an interview. Yeah, pretty exciting match for both. You can see Kiara is basically on her way to finding Dragon right here. He's going to run into Dragon and then would go directly into the Ridley fight afterwards. Clean that up and then head back to Mother Brain. Her path is pretty clear. But Scott's movement and honestly, Scott's routing ended up being worked out quite nicely for him. So a deadly combination to have a good route and to have really clean movement. So well played by Scott for this victory. Give them a quick ping to see if they want to Okay, we just got the players in the waiting room, so we'll wait for them. Yeah, GG's to both these players. With Scott taking this match. That means Scott will continue on and play Path in the next round. And Kiara will go down to the lower bracket where she will be playing the loser of Spiffy versus Gameaholic. Which is currently being scheduled as well. This is kind of the point where the tournament is going to start getting really spicy. Looks like we're getting just about finishing the first round matches. And we're going to be moving to the next round, kind of coming up soon. The winner's bracket, the upper bracket, is going to start getting really spicy at this point. All right, so joining us today is the winner of the match, phatscott25. Scott, GG's. Congratulations on your win. Any thoughts? I'm sure Kiara will be joining us in a second.
GG. I'm not fully sure. I don't know. That last scene was like, I don't know. It felt like fairly straightforward, I guess. It was very linear of a seed. It was just kind of like you had one way to go and you just kept going down and down and down, and it was a little interesting. But yeah, I thought both of the seeds that I played today were pretty good overall. This one I liked quite a bit, actually. It was, I think for the most part I played it pretty well, and I got a bit lucky finding Dragon. I think that's about how I feel right now. I feel all right. The second game I think was very, very linear. Quite literally, you had no other regions to go. I would say like I had very few criticisms of anything, but like you played very cleanly and the routing kind of worked out nicely with the Dragon. Obviously, it was kind of funny that we see Spore Spawn blocking the way. So when you were going back up to see it, I'm sure you were kind of like laughing a little bit, like, "Huh, that's kind of funny." Yeah, it was like gating the bowling alley.
Yeah, exactly. So that worked out nicely. And joining us also in the commentary booth, Kiara, the runner-up for today. But GG's, Kiara. Oh, I'm not sure if we can hear your mic. Perhaps the Discord thing.
All right, hello.
There we go. Hi, Kiara.
No, I use a 2 PC setup, so I had to figure out how to swap off the game audio and swap back onto this.
I'm no longer forcing you to mute your mic, so you feel free to say whatever you want now. Yeah, GG's. Any thoughts on these two games? The most recent seed, obviously, but you can give us some thoughts right now. We're already talking to Scott just a little bit right now.
Yeah. Where the heck was Dragon?
Well,
that was the mystery. This seed is like where the heck? I feel I went everywhere except Dragon.
Yes.
But hey, that's map rando sometimes.
I'm gonna say
some trouble elsewhere, but
we're gonna chalk this victory up to Scott getting lucky. Okay, so Scott, upon seeing that bowling, like you guys go into wreck ship, Scott sees the bowling and is just like, heck yeah, I'm doing bowling. So just jumps into the Chozo arm, instantly runs into the Dragon. We're gonna say that's the only reason he won.
Yeah, it looks like this is a required Spore Spawn, which is kind of funny. I think. Yeah. This is the only way out?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah. Kiara actually did go all the way left and got hit and ended up hitting waterway. So unless there's a crazy loop along the top, it looks like Spore Spawn was required to get out. Yeah.
So that's pretty funny. Yep. I would say I think I played better this seed than last time. I took a big bad death getting gravity suits, but it happens. I fully expected to get 2-0'd, but I'm glad at least some of the races were fun to watch. So that's the most important part for me.
No, it was really fun. I'm glad I got to race today. And I think for this second race, I just remembered the one shamble I did have. I kind of had a bit of trouble with I think it was Key Hunter Stairs. There was like I took a few resets there, mostly just because the first time I wanted to see if I could just tank through, and then I didn't do it right. The second time I tried to spark, and then I went vertical instead of diagonal. Then I just died again, and then I got beat up by the Des Gigas in the room right before, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna reset. It was a little funny, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't too bad, I say.
Yeah. That was a little funny when that happened. Obviously, Scott, you have a lot of speedrunning experience, right? So when you have two tanks and you have both of you entered with like 150, so essentially those key hunters are going to destroy you like immediately if you're not careful.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, Kiara just sees that and just immediately goes down to Norfair and has to backtrack to criteria later. And obviously, Scott, you're thinking like, I see the map. I know I can do this, so I know you took a few deaths, but the save wasn't that far, and ultimately you made it up there, got that crate information a little bit quicker, so that kind of worked out for you nicely.
Yeah, I knew that it was like definitely. I've been able to get around them without too much trouble before. I just right then and there, I just had a couple mishaps with it, but it was nice that there was a save only like right across from it, so it wasn't too bad for me right there. If I were like. if I had a save that was a bit further back than that, I probably would have also went down rather than risk it, unless I knew that like I had enough health to not worry too much about it. But
Mhm.
I was in a situation there where it was like, it could be pretty valuable to know what's in criteria and have the map and all that. And I think it was in the end. I'm pretty sure. So yeah.
What was the third game mode going to be? I'm actually curious because given
think
what
double
happened in the first game,
suits.
double suit. Okay, there was I'm kind of curious. What the what were both of your bans here?
I banned no requirements.
No objectives. Okay.
I just banned Gravity 9+1 because I haven't played it.
Okay.
I have been very, very busy with college stuff, so I have not had a lot of time to run map rando seeds. But before this race and yesterday, I was able to get some time. The ones that I played the Varia plus movement. I played Metroids and no MP2, and then I played no objectives. Those are the ones I've been able to play so far.
Yeah. I truly thought this was going to be 3 games at least, because, or not at least, but I thought it was going to be 3 games given what happened. Scott actually had the God route. He sort of went to Norfair early and just found the Metroid room. But it's just funny because he literally did not scroll the map far enough to see the last Metroid. So I thought it was over at that point.
Yeah, that was man.
Yeah, it was pretty amusing. It was pretty close at the end actually. Kiara was basically on Mother Brain as the game was ending. So it was interesting to see that, but that's just kind of how Rando goes.
No suits was terrifying though, so I probably would have needed to farm some ammo to go through, but that was something else.
When I was looking for Dragon near the end, I made sure this time to scroll around the map a couple times to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I got burned once. I didn't want to get burned again.
I was like, all right, bring it to game 3. Yeah, let's go.
Yep, that would have been good. I was ready to do comms for game 3. All right, so Scott, now that you are moving up into the next round, you're up against Path. I don't know how much map rando you've been following. Any thoughts on your next matchup?
I don't think I'm gonna do very well against Path.
Path has a lot of experience in map rando. He's very much a map rando main. It's kind of interesting actually. I feel like I kind of feel like Path is like your if you're the speedrunner and Path is like the map rando person, I feel like you're kind of each other's counterparts here. It's kind of funny how that is. So it'll be interesting to see both of you match up against each other.
Yeah, maybe it'll be more interesting than I think it will be. I don't know. I definitely know he's really good at map rando, so it's gonna be, maybe it'll be more interesting of a matchup than I.
Yeah. I think the cool thing, I mean, Scott, you've been around for a while, right? The cool thing is like Path is, there's a lot of players, like I would say, like Mo, Path, these people, like a lot of these players kind of like are map rando mains, right? Like, map rando kind of got bigger, and then they kind of came out and started playing map rando almost exclusively, and it's been really cool to kind of see this. So we're getting kind of the clash of speedrunner versus like map rando main kind of thing.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to me. I like that.
Yep.
I think yeah, because I've been speedrunning Super Metro for a while now, and then like I guess I've always kind of played randomizers, and I've played in a few rando tourneys previously, but I've never really been that good at it in comparison to like speedrunning. So it's sort of like, in some part, I find it very interesting, and also very fun to run some of these. But it also is like, it definitely requires a different sort of skill set than just being able to move through the game fast. And like, I think map rando for me, it's good because I like being able to play so many different rooms like across like the entirety of one seed, and like getting more experience that way. Like I kind of like different parts of my speedrunning brain, I guess, kind of like activated different parts of the run, or like different parts of the seed. It's like, oh, I'm in this room. Well, now I know I need to do this. It's like I can tell sometimes my muscle memory will kick in, and I'll like do something like super a door or something. I'm like, I didn't need to do that. But yeah, I think it's map rando is very interesting to me, and I think it would, maybe it'll be more interesting a match than I was initially thinking. Now I'm kind of looking forward to it, I guess.
Awesome. Kiara, you're not out of the tournament, still in the lower bracket now. Going up against, I believe, the loser of Spiffy Thomas and Gameaholic. So, any thoughts on your upcoming match? Any expectations?
Spiffy would destroy me. Yeah.
Spiffy's the favorite in that match. He is the 7th
Yeah.
seed. Gameaholic is
So
the
I'll
20th
need Spiffy to win, and then maybe I got a shot going.
Spiffy, I would say, is definitely the favorite there. But Gameaholic.
I don't know too much about Gameaholic, but I'll still play, and we'll see what happens. I'll get a couple more practice games in.
Yeah.
I'm amazed I was able to make the tournament at all. So I'm happy I did. They're really fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's gonna be fun going forward. I was anticipating your match, Kiara. Any thoughts of me signing up for your comms last second when you didn't know?
Okay, so I did not know you were getting a restream until 10 minutes before race time.
Oh,
so I was like, wait, what, Eddie? Why are you putting me on SpeedGaming 1? Wait, no, this doesn't make any sense. Get out of here. This isn't gonna be a good show, I promise you.
Well, I think almost all of these matches have gotten restreams actually, so I guess they really like Super Metroid, so I kind of wasn't expecting everying to being restreamed.
I think
but
a lot
we've
of
been
people
getting a
like
lot of
Super
restreams.
Metroid. I like
Yeah,
Super
definitely.
Metroid. I think it's a fun game. Especially since I get to play as me, so that's always fun.
You do. Excellent sprite. Yeah. Any other thoughts both of you have? Otherwise, I think we're probably gonna move on to whatever's next on the schedule. So.
Yeah. Having no gravity suit either of these seeds was kind of sucked.
Oh, that's true. That did happen.
Yeah, that happened. At least for me.
Yeah, I don't think I found gravity in either of the seats either, did I? I don't think so.
Yeah, gravity. I mean, I did pick up gravity in both of them, at the end, but
Yeah.
I died with gravity suit in the first season.
Oh,
this one it was it's not in Rex ship, but I think in Brinstar or something on the way back, because both of these seeds kind of had it set up where it was you had so much you just go deep and then that's it, you go do your stuff and you're out. So that's always fun. This one in particular, Rex ship is just you just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper, and you don't really actually have to do anything else. Sorry, I was playing Ridley, so I was like, oh. Yeah, you just go in, you just cross off entire zones.
Yeah, we were talking about how if you didn't go back to criteria, that would have kind of been important for it to be like that. Otherwise, you would get into the situation where Scott might kill Ridley, might kill Dragon, and then immediately turn around, whereas you would be committed to continuing to go deeper to find Kraid. But in the end, you did go back to Kraid anyway, so it kind of didn't matter either way.
Yeah, I wanted to. I was just there's so low ammo.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, I think that about does it. I don't know if this command is where. Oh, I definitely did that on your channel, Kiara. So let me do that over.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, give both these runners a follow, phatscott25 and Kiara_TV. Both great runners, great people. I'm friends with both. I would call both of you friends. Okay, so
I'm honored.
And I think that's it. Any final words that either of you want to say before I take us out here?
Thanks for the comms.
Yeah, thank you for commenting, and also thanks for the race today. I'm glad to play some Super Metroid again, man. It is very fun. I had a lot of fun today.
Okay. All right. GG's
Have a good one. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yep. So GG's to everyone here, and that about does it. So I don't know what's up next. I don't know what's on the schedule, but I'm sure it's great. We'll see you next mission.
Bye.